But can you tell me, why do we need to recognize positions in the score?
When you know exactly the note on where you change the position, your elbow knows when it needs to be prepared for next position, to keep your hands in closed position, to find these natural angles of wrists.
Okay, so the idea is again to avoid stretched position for a long time in our hand when we play, because we can play with much less effort and much more powerful and with much better stamina if our hands are like in this rather than this. Yeah. Okay. Let's just go quickly into, maybe first we should talk about fingering. That's an important topic, because sometimes as professional musicians we completely overlook that simple thing, which is so important. So, what can you tell me about fingering? First of all, we need to fix fingering in the score right from the beginning, because you want to avoid play even 2 times with different fingering the piece. So this is very important, and you know about this horrifying thing when you need to perform and then your teacher changes a little one finger and it's just you have nightmares, and eventually when you play on stage you still play with old fingering. So the muscle memory here is like, yeah, it works very well. So let's use it in our favor, and right from the beginning, if you look at my scores, every note has a fingering. Any confusion, even slight confusion in the chord, is it 4-3, I would always write it, 5-4 or 5-3 on top. So fingering is everywhere. Another thing is sometimes students start overthinking. So also don't overthink too much fingering. And for example, what you addressed before, what you said, that you don't want to change fingering, which would create a new position when you just play in one position. So we have this little motif here. If you look at the score in Czerny, it's written like this. Substitution, like substitutions are the killers of the hand, because you experience so much tension here because you're not really sure where you press, where you substitute. So I never use substitutions. So in this case you could play 1 and just 1 again. That's what I mean. You simplify instead of... Well, this is just a very obvious example. Tell me about maybe 3 main rules of finding positions. Where would you break? So we marking positions in the score with a bracket, right? So where would you start the bracket?
Well, yes, positions are marked with brackets, and usually we have the length of from 1 to 6th finger.
From 1 to 6th finger. Okay, we have a 6, right? Usually, yeah, maybe.
Yes, I mean in interval of 6.
We have an interval of 6 that we can play with a finger 1-5. Okay. I think the better way to think about it is to simply see if there is a 6 in the score that you will play play with the finger 1, 5. And if anything bigger, for example, a 7th, octave, etc., then you should change, you should start a new position. This is the main rule. So one position is when you can play within the 6 between 1 and 5. Now there are exceptions, obviously. Exceptions when changing position, when for example we need to play 7th with 1, 5. Usually, by the rule, you're breaking position, you start a new position. But sometimes it just makes no sense. Like here. You don't wanna do that. So in this way, it's this exception where, okay, you can probably stretch 1, 5 to a 7th, or octave as well, right, with 1, 5. Okay. And of course, in chords, if we need to play, for example, interval, again, to close the hand, because this interval, for example, octave, we know it's a big stretch, so you want to close it. Close your hand if you play interval. And you have a pedal to make it look. But you get a much better control than holding. Tension here. Alright, so tell me again. Let's learn this together. So when you see in the score 1, a 6, any notes that are within the 6 is one position. If you see the notes are going beyond the 6, you probably need to change position. And also little nuance, if you have a 6, but that 6 is played with finger 1 and 3, it's also a new position. So the alignment of interval with these fingers are important. So 6, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, probably new position.
Okay.
What else? So this is the main rule. Okay, that works 80% of the time. Now next is just additional little tips.
For example, when we need to shift our hands, but still play with same fingers. Yes. We need to also change the position.
So if we play different notes with the same finger, and vice versa, if we play the same note but with different finger.
Yes, this is the third rule, but I read that there is an exception. We can allow ourselves don't change the position if we do the fingers that are neighbors to each other. First
Between
and
neighbors, so
second.
it's 3, 4, or 2, 3.
Yeah.
Then it's such a small shift, you can still treat it as one position.
But also we can change if we want.
If
yes?
you feel that your hand needs a little bit, it's too stiff there, yeah, you can move your elbow there.
Okay.
Another one, actually very common that you might meet in runs. For example, if you play a scale and you have a thumb under.
Yes, I remembered. A thumb under. When we go this turning, we don't do this turning.
So as soon as we start, we have two positions, 1 and 2. And the same when we go back, as soon as we cross over with the finger, our thumb, we start a new position. Alright. If we play, yeah, okay. What about if we have any types of runs based on scales and arpeggio that have, let's say, 5 or 6 notes in a row in arpeggio. types of, but they're repetitive. Scale or arpeggio pattern, different types, but they're repetitive. What do we do that?
We can change positions on downbeats.
So we completely actually skip that marking with brackets of positions. We will jump right into the next, which is finding position change note, which we'll talk about next lesson, which is just circling the notes by downbeat. So in other words, we don't need to mark anything in those runs, just skipping it. Okay, so to summarize quickly, write down the fingering right from the beginning. Don't overthink, just kind of like make a logic, you know. The main thing is that there's no confusion about which finger you play. Second thing, mark the brackets. If it's more than within the 6 that you can play with finger 1, 5, it's probably new position. If you have a thumb under, new position. Same note, different finger, or different note, same finger. And in runs or arpeggios with similar pattern, skip that step at once. So now we're going to test it.
All right.
So what I would like you to do is this. I'll give you an example. Okay, so these are two separate positions. Why? Because I'm playing different notes with the same finger. This can only be one.
With the thumb.
This is all one position, because I'm playing within the 6. Next, again starts new position. Why? Wow. It's a very big interval. It's more than 6 again. So you know what I mean? You tell me where start position, but you also tell me why.
Next rule, the same finger, change. Then rule bigger than a 6, the same finger.
Well done.
Then, okay, then.
No, question to you. So from here, we are playing with an octave here. So can it be still one position? Is it bigger than 6? So we have to break it into 2 positions. So instead of playing this way, we can mark as La, Do, one position, and Fa, La, another. So instead of playing this, we will do that in the future. But for now, we're just finding positions. Do you understand this?
We go next.
Okay, so we're breaking this into 2 positions. All right, next.
Then we have the same note, but the different fingers. Then we need to break position because again, same note, different fingers. Those ledger lines, and I know this is and then next we apply the rule. What we do? We apply same finger but different notes, or
Yes,
the large interval. Okay, same finger. Yes.
Yeah, 5, 5.
Perhaps my professor said why 5, 5, but okay.
But you see, again, you need to look at the andentina. So you know that the time is something like this. And you will have a pedal. So why to do this? Create additional tension.
Yes. Beautiful etude. Same finger, different note.
Good.
Then, this additional positions.
Why would you think
We skip
so?
the finger because we skip.
You're playing within
We
the
skip
6. Because you playing within that 6. Your hand is not stretching more here, you know? You know what I mean? You can play anything, like even like this, you know? it's within that 6 between G and B that you're playing with 5-1. And if after that 5 is shifting a little bit towards
to the left,
to the left, it's not stretching. It's still within the same position. You can play this, you can play this. It's still one position.
So this is one position.
Exactly.
All right. Okay, next we have I think the interval that is bigger than a 6.
Good.
Because we change finger.
Good. 5-2.
Then okay, then we need to change because we turning thumb.
Why would you turn the time? Why wouldn't you play 1, 2, 3, 5?
But it's bigger than a 6.
This is what I actually mean by good fingering. Instead of doing unnecessary thumb under, which is a little bit more complicated, you just can play 1. But you're right, this is bigger than the 6. So again, just like in bar 3, when we're breaking here, we're gonna just break here. So this is gonna be 1. And this is gonna be another one.
I understand. Yes. It's just like in third bar.
Exactly.
Yes, I understand. Okay, so the first positions end on this mi and the next. Same finger, different note.
Good.
Turning thumb under.
Good.
Then turning thumb under.
Or same note, different finger.
Oh yeah, or same note, different finger. Yes. Next.
I guess first you need to understand. Are you gonna play this with 5 or with 1? Because again, you see the substitution here. I think I would choose 5 because before there were lots of short notes. This way would be much more inconvenient because of the fast tempo. Than this. So let's take, okay, so we're gonna fix 5 there. So now with that in your mind.
What if, well, if I process this naturally, I would change the position here.
What you can also do is this. As one position. As another position. I know it's not welcome to 6 with 2, 5, but it's very quick here and kind of painless here. So 2, 5 is that exception thing that we can use here. So we can. This is one. This is another one. In other ways, what you've said. All this one, and this, another one. Both will do.
Okay, the same finger, different note.
Correct.
Then, yes, then the interval that is bigger than a 6, the octave. Then, I don't know, teachers sometimes and musicians do this advice of changing the finger when you stay on one key.
That's actually a very good topic to mention here. So, why they're changing? To better control the technical and musical part of repetitive note, right? So if we want to play, so of course, when you play it with different finger, it will give you a different sensation of each note. But that's a little bit, there is another way to achieve that. You can achieve that sensitivity through internal singing of the note. And then later we're going to talk about musical speech, and that's a different emotion that you put in intervals, plus the phrasing, different, energetic crescendos and diminuendos. So that tension between the notes that it's more easy maybe achieve with different fingers, you can achieve with the same finger. And even if you need to play fast, you can control it because you feel that tension. You don't need to do that. Of course, it's only for very it's not for Alvarado level, okay? So then you would really want to go 3-2-1, 3-2-1, just for tension release, because of course if you play just with one finger for a long time, that will create natural tension in the arm. But here, for just a musical benefit, you don't need to change, just on 3 notes and slow tempo. You can play with the same fingering. Okay, so 5-5-5. And then?
Then we have interval that is bigger than a 6. Oh no, or yes.
We do, exactly. We're going to octave, so we need to break it into 2 positions.
Again, this substitution, but possibly this thumb under.
Well, but also what about this? So we have to break that one. So it could be one and another one. Again, the 6 with 1-4, we on the edge here, right? But again, because it's so fast, it's going to be painful. Or one position and another position. Or, but again, it's like the 5th with 5-2, it's also kind of, okay, it's actually fine. 5th with 5-2 is fine. One position, another position, and then because like you said, it's the thumb under in a way, we have to start a new position.
Okay.
So this is what I would do. 1, next.
Good. Next, yes, then the same different notes. Oh no, the interval that is bigger than a 6.
Bigger than a 6, good.
Bigger than a 6. Then this is one position, yes? And then
I want you not to miss that the first note of the position is C. So in a way we're talking about a 7th here with 1-5, which is like, if possible, we could break it. Maybe 1 and another.
So we break the position after the Do, after C, we break position and Do, C, yes. C and B, and started from B.
That's another way, but you can also do together first 2 notes. And
Yeah. Okay, then interval that is bigger than a 6th. Then then again we have the 7th interval. And
do we do here?
interval that is bigger than a sixth, and then.
So what do we do? So we're gonna break fa mi together and then re do fa together. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe fa la.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's within the sixth with 1/5.
And even do is within a sixth.
True. But I mean, it's not necessarily to include it there. We can include it in the next one.
Yeah.
Into this one.
Mm-hmm. Yes. This quarter. Well, no. Fourth. Quarter is another term. Yes. Fourth, and then interval that is bigger than a sixth. Okay. Finally, we.
Well done. Okay.
Yes.
This is obviously a very simple example, but it's very important that you find your ground in something here. You know. So you will. If I put you in the ocean, you will not sink there in the future. You will have your little boat.